To the Cryptonometron. This is my ICO review of SHPING. What is SHPING? Well, it's a shopping app that basically uses barcodes to track products and gives you more information. They also have a reward scheme that involves a cryptocurrency. And their pre-sale is live at the moment with up to a 40% bonus, but they have a minimum investment amount at the moment of $3,000, which is about 2.8 Ethereum as of today. So let's get into the review and have a closer look at SHPING. So the competition will include a number of supply chain management ICOs and cryptocurrencies that are available so far, such as Wabi. This is their website, Walami. Now, the difference between Wabi and SHPING is that Wabi use RFID tags, which is completely secure against counterfeiting. Counterfeiters cannot replicate the RFID tags because the RFID is tied to the blockchain. Therefore, the tags themselves obviously could be counterfeited, but when you scan them, they would be on the blockchain as a counterfeit. So they're a little bit more protecting than, say, a barcode system that SHPING implement already. However, again, we're talking about supply chain management here. There are other companies that do it. VeChain are involved, Modem, and also I believe Walton as well are looking to do supply chain management with their RFID tags and also integrating blockchain with Internet of Things, as you can see from their website there. As far as the rewards app and the scheme goes, when you're shopping, SHPING will reward you for reviews and photographs of the item and comments, etc. I think the closest one at the moment is Fluzz, which has just come off ICO a few days ago. They're very similar in that they reward the consumer. So it'll be interesting to see how SHPING square up with the competition. Now, bearing in mind that SHPING already have a business in Australia. They were called Authenticate, I believe, and they've changed their name to SHPING. So they've already got a understanding and a business that is bringing in revenue for counterfeit protection, recalls of products, and they're expanding now into the retail section with the SHPING app, which will allow the consumer to review, rate products, and also check the barcodes for authenticity, etc. Right, so let's look at the problems that they're trying to solve. There are a few that they list in their white paper under market opportunities. The first one is the rise of omni-channel shopping experiences, and omni-channel simply means multiple channel. Or, you've got your online store, you've got your brick and mortar traditional store, physical store, if you like. And the rise of the omni-channel shopping experience obviously brings its own problems. People expect to be, to find the same product on the app or on the website than they will in the physical store. So that's an issue that they have to deal with, in that the information has to be provided online, so the consumer is more and more inclined to check online first before actually going into a physical store, for example. And again, that goes hand in hand with this information on demand paradox, where they say, in a world of increasing choices, consumers today demand more details from the brands and products they purchase. So the brands are interested in providing more and more information. And how do you do that? Well, of course, you have to first identify the product. And in this case, the SHPING are going to use a barcode system. So you scan it with the app, and then you'll find a plethora of information where the product came from, breaking it right down to what they call a granular level, in that you'll be able to see exactly the components of the product perhaps, and some other information that the supplier or the manufacturer will let you know. So it'll also be interesting if you're a compulsive shopper, there are millions of you out there, you will be going around checking items and getting that sort of information, which is quite handy, and it's quite a new concept, but also something that I think would improve the overall shopping experience. The other issues that they're going to face are the growth of self-service advertising and marketing. So they say here, while increasingly powerful consumer mobile technologies open brands up to new possibilities to reach consumers, these advertising solutions are often complex, costly to implement, and are typically unfit for the direct purpose of influencing purchase behavior in immediate retail situations. So their method of using the app that rewards the customer and the barcode traceability will allow the advertising and marketing to grow, but on a self-service level, if you like. Changing shape of royalty programs was also another problem that was listed here. Again, the loyalty program system always changing, and now we've got cryptocurrency. It's maybe an outdated model, the old way of getting rewards, stamps. It used to be, it still is here in Thailand. The 7-Eleven stores give you these little stamps that you get whenever you spend money, and you save them up and you can get prizes, or you can cash them in for a discount on whatever you're buying. But this seems to be more of an outdated model, and as we move into digital currencies, we're going to have to tackle the problem of loyalty schemes and how they're going to operate. Shipping obviously have their own idea of rewarding the customer with the cryptocurrency for shopping at certain retailers or providing reviews and other information through the ecosystem. Probably the biggest problem that the retail industry is facing is the growing counterfeit problem, mostly coming from Asia, China in particular. Thailand, again, quite well known for it. Other countries not quite as renowned for counterfeiting, but still participating in it. And it costs the industry billions every year, as we know, and it's very hard to clamp down, and it's very hard, especially when you're dealing with products that are not that expensive. It's quite hard to keep them out of the supply chain. But with barcode technology, blockchain technology, and the RFID system that some of the competitors are implementing, it's easier to trace the products from the manufacturer to the retail throughout the supply chain, and hopefully eradicate a lot of the counterfeits that are on the market. And another problem is the increasing regulation for traceability compliance. Governments and authorities now are looking to implement more regulations for traceability, simply because of the scandals that have happened, especially in China with the baby milk formula, in UK and Europe with horse meat going into beef products like lasagna. Some very well known retailers were caught, and again, it's all about the traceability of your products. Even meat and vegetable products are requiring now to be traced from the manufacturer. So the regulations are not going to be conducive to the suppliers' profit margins, because it's going to require a lot more effort for them to implement a traceability system. And again, that's where RFID and barcode scanning and the blockchain, especially the blockchain, comes into play. So last but not least, the other issue that they have is the increasing popularity of mobile payment platforms. Again, I hinted at earlier that eventually everything's going to be digital. Visa cards, MasterCards will be obsolete, as will paper currency. Eventually, you're going to be using your phone or some sort of device, if we imagine into the future, to pay for everything. And, using the mobile payment platform is another issue, brings other issues of its own, of its own nature, in that you're going to have your own app, be able to interact. It's going to be secure. It's ready for a global cryptocurrency. It's ready for and I don't think it will be global. I think there will be there won't be just one. It's not like the Highlander here. It will be a number of cryptocurrencies. I think maybe even tens of thousands. I have a different vision. A lot of people think that Bitcoin will be the one, and all these other cryptocurrencies are surplus to requirements. I don't believe that. I think what the issue is going to be is having tens of thousands of cryptos that, you know, different businesses are using. Small businesses might have their own one, and these will all interact and be exchangeable. The problem is here, when you want to go and purchase something, it's got to be, you know, your crypto that you're holding. You might have several. You can choose one to shop with or pay with. The problem is, you know, whatever crypto they accept, the retailer accepts, you're going to have to swap your crypto over pretty much instantly to make the payment. And that's the model I see, that there will be thousands of different cryptocurrencies all interacting. There will be no one overarching cryptocurrency. You know, Bitcoin may still well be the biggest for a while yet, but there won't be just one. But as I say, you know, that's going to be the ecosystem that I see for the future economy. Loads of different cryptos, loads of different interacting digital currencies, and you'll be able to hopefully pay with all of them. But that's a problem at the moment that needs to be addressed, and they are addressing it. Shipping are addressing it by introducing the shipping coin, and they will allow their coin to facilitate payment on a mobile platform. So the aims of shipping, and I'll read directly from the white paper. Their goal is for shipping coin to evolve into a new token of exchange that incentivizes consumers, brands, retailers, and associated organizations to work together to create a safer, smarter way for consumers to shop and share information about products in the market. So they have 4 interlocking pillars, they call, that shipping aims to achieve simultaneously. So they want to develop the world's largest trusted global product database through blockchain innovation. They want to provide full traceability and auditability of the supply chain. They want to empower and incentivize consumers to instantly and conveniently assess the quality, authenticity, and suitability of the products they are purchasing. And they also want to enable brands, retailers, and associated organizations to incentivize consumers to engage with them in a manner which is non-disruptive and customer-driven. So looking at the market and referring to the white paper, again, according to forecast by eMarketer, e-commerce sales will account for just 10.1% of total global retail sales in 2017. But by 2021, the proportion of online sales as a portion of total retail sales is forecast to be at 15.5%. So they believe that the bricks and mortar, the physical retail stores, will still survive. However, it is a growing market for e-commerce. They go on to state that in Australia, 65% of customers reported using a digital device to assist them before they go shopping, while 31% of customers reported using a digital device to assist them while they were shopping in the store. So there is a market for this kind of technology. I think people are going to use it, and it will be a growing market because it's fairly new. A lot of people, have not really, not really come into the crypto sphere at the moment. More people will, but apps like this won't make it necessary for you to be a crypto expert or a nerd or a geek or anything like that. You can get into it just by using the app. You should be able to interact and improve your shopping experience. So loyalty programs are popular in the US particularly. They estimate that 62% of US customers said they make more visits to stores because of mobile-enabled loyalty programs. And also, this same study reported that 64% of surveyed brands claimed an increase in loyalty program membership over the previous year. So the mobile-based loyalty programs seem to be a growing market. So there's obviously some movement there. And also, if we go back to the counterfeiting issue, the market for counterfeiting is 922 billion by 2022. So there's a massive amount of money in counterfeit goods, and of course, by definition, by the result of that, there will be a lot of money to be made if you are applying counterfeit protection. A lot of manufacturers, retailers want to protect their brands, They want their supply chain protected, and I think the counterfeit market, or the counterfeit protection market, will be growing exponentially in the near future. So to sum up, the market for supply chain management and loyalty programs for shoppers is absolutely massive, a multi-billion-dollar in fact. If they can harness both of those different uses for blockchain, the rewards loyalty platform, and also the supply chain management that they're already involved in with their existing business, then I think this could be quite successful indeed. So the blockchains they're going to be using are IBM's Hyperledger Fabric for the permissions, and this ensures privacy when you require it, so the information is not always shared between all parties. You can select who actually gets access. And we'll also use the Ethereum for the smart contracts to execute any smart contracts on the blockchain. So the ecosystem will look like this. We have the excuse me, we have the cloud storage facilities, web facilities that integrate with the shipping ecosystem. And then you have all of the other providers that the information is going to come from. That basically, it comes from a database, and the information will be provided by the bodies at the top here, and they call them integrated certification and industry data sources. They will have all the information about the products, all the requirements, and you will also have the information on the right hand side, as we can see, from the brand, from the supply chain. All this will be integrated through a shipping API into the shipping ecosystem. And as we can see at the bottom, there is the Everledger blockchain, which you can query the data from, and you will also have the nodes from the decentralized system. So pretty self-explanatory there. That's how they're going to implement and use the blockchain. So let's look at the benefits next in the tech section of why the blockchain is so good for supply chain management, and effectively what the benefits are going to be for you as a consumer and also for the brands. So the retailer will have benefits. The supplier or manufacturer will also have benefits from using the shipping platform. But first off, let's start with the consumer. And you'll be able to look up a product's ingredients. If you scan using the app, you can view interesting additional information that brands may want to share. Anything from recipes to documentaries, etc. You can contribute details to the global product database, especially for new items. You can rate products for the benefit of other shipping users. You can read and write product reviews. You can complete questionnaires and surveys from brands. You can determine if a particular product has been recalled, or if there's any issues with it. You can see what certifications the product has. You can verify the authenticity, and you can register the product for a warranty if applicable. So the benefit to brands will be direct to consumer communication, meaning that they can get their message out to the person that's going to buy their product. They have consumer demographic and behavior analytics, so they'll be able to analyze exactly what the customer is doing. They will have targeted personalized marketing. They will have a ready-made loyalty program that they can just take part in without having to have their own standalone program. They will have social media integration with the app, and you will also have rich automation and marketing features which will provide marketers with the ability to create and layer sequence highly relevant communications which are aligned to the consumer's behavior and the brand's understanding of their buying journey, which will obviously have been provided through the analytics. So another benefit to the brands will be the security module, and this will mean that brands can physically track their products all through the supply chain. As I've mentioned many times before in this review, supply chain management is critical and a very good use of the blockchain. They can have track and trace, so they can see where their items are going. They can add to the product global product database. They can activate product authentication, which basically you can scan the app, scan the barcode with the app and check whether a product is authentic before you purchase it. You can activate grey import monitoring, so if there are retailers out with the official distribution channels, you can monitor that as well, that are selling your products. You can also trace the raw material that's used to manufacture the products. You have product recall management, which will enable brands to identify if a product has any components that maybe have caused an alert, and therefore they can recall. You can also activate the warranties. The brands can do this as well. They can allow the consumer to activate a warranty when they make a purchase. And they can also have traceability and serialization to comply with any new regulations that the authorities bring out. And also, they can now take advantage of that traceability regulation by using the app and also activating track and trace. So there will also be a retail module for retailers, and again, this will allow retailers to provide product information to consumers. It will incentivize consumers to leave store reviews. It will support consumers with in-store navigation like a map or some such device. They will also learn more about their consumers through analytics. There will be an augmented reality style of product promotions, so it will gamify the shopping experience. They can track products from the point of manufacture, of course, as we've just mentioned. They can confirm the product's authenticity before they bring it into their store or their warehouse, wherever they keep the products for retail. And they could also interact with the brands to assist with any promotions, more information about the products, etc. So there will be other benefits for the industry. As we know, you can be auditing a product's chain of custody, so you'll be able to know wherever it is at all times and how it's come to be, how it's arrived, wherever it's ended up in whichever retail store. You can also identify instances where certifications may be misused or even counterfeited. You will enabling product messages to be pushed to customers. So, if for example, in this example, they've got certified organic Australian produce mentioned here. You can get your message across to the consumer a lot easier. You can incentivize consumers to purchase products or actually use the app to add reviews and build your business essentially. And also you can meet new compliance and industry regulations for traceability, as we mentioned before. It will make it a lot easier for you to actually comply with the new legislation, as you'll know where your product is and has been. So Shipping has partnership with a company called Everledger, and they provide data using the Hyperledger blockchain, and they are basically keeping data on the blockchain for suppliers and other intermediaries, other third parties, and that data is going to be provided to Shipping for further use in their aim to clamp down on counterfeiting and give a better retail experience for brands, retailers and the customer. And we can see here the stack and how it's going to integrate. You have your data sources at the top level, and obviously Internet of Things, web services, databases and other sources will then provide the different types of data, which include shipping sensitive data, Everledger network data as well. And then you have encryption, of course, and then onto the blockchain. There, the second from the bottom, you have your client private subchain, and then you will have the Everledger high security blockchain as well, which are hosted on different servers, as you can see. And that's basically how it integrates. So the token use will be mainly to incentivize behavior on the ecosystem, as the tokens will power the ecosystem, and you will be able to, as a app user, as a customer, consumer, get paid with the shipping coins for scanning or entering barcodes, registering as new users, rating products, reviewing products, viewing product information even, completing missing information, adding new products, interacting with the brands, subscribing to any media accounts, and registering products for or activating warranties. So all of these activities will allow you to get rewarded in the shipping tokens or the shipping coins. So now on to the token sale. The pre-sale has started. There is a hard cap on the pre-sale of $3 million US. The minimum purchase is 300,000 shipping coins, and if the hard cap is reached, the sale will end. They will still go to an ICO after this, as they have ambitions of making a little bit more than $3 million US. But the minimum purchase currently is about $3,000. I believe it's 1 cent per token at pre-sale price. And it's about 2.8 Ethereum, I think I checked earlier. So that's the minimum purchase to get in at pre-sale. Obviously, at the main crowd sale, the minimum will be a lot less. So half the total 10 billion shipping coins will be available at the ICO or during the token sale. So the pre-sale, as I said, is on at the moment. The initial rate for the tokens is 1 cent. And there are obviously 5 billion tokens available. They do accept all of these cryptocurrencies here: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, even Litecoin, Dash, and Zcash. But they also take Aussie dollar and US dollar as well if you want to pay in fiat currency. And this is the breakdown of how it's going to be distributed. 42% will be kept for an incentive as a reserve, and that's to incentivize consumers to initially pick up and run with the app and use the program, and also to bring some retailers on board and to bring some more brands on board probably. 50% will be reserved for purchasers during pre-sale and crowd sale, as I mentioned. 1% will be dedicated to the bounty campaign, 5% to advisors, and 2% will be given to the shipping team. So 22nd of January, the pre-sale began. It will end on the 31st of January if the hard cap is not met. They're currently about halfway to the hard cap, I think. 22nd of February is the date that the crowd sale proper will begin, and then 23rd of March the crowd sale will end, or it will end before if they meet their hard cap. So these are the bonuses. Pre-sale is currently running. There is a 40% bonus with a minimum purchase of 300,000 shipping coins. The first day of the crowd sale on 22nd of February, there will be a 20% bonus. Minimum purchase a lot less at 1,000 tokens. And crowd sale week 1, 15% bonus, 1,000 minimum purchase, and so on and so on. So there will also be a minimum purchase for platinum status for life bonus. Which, if during the crowd sale, as you can see from week 1 onwards, if you purchase over 100,000 tokens early on, you will get a lifetime bonus on the platform. So they do have a bounty campaign running, and they also have a referral campaign to generate interest about the project. My referral link is down below, as usual. Full disclosure, guys, you can usually recognize a referral link. Let's be honest, if you can't by now, you might not want to be investing or contributing to any ICOs. But my referral link is below. My usual disclaimer is I don't get paid for these reviews, so every little bit helps. If you use my referral link, I think you get 5% bonus, and I get 5% as well, so it helps me. It lets me continue to make these videos for you. If you enjoy them, I do appreciate it. Please use my referral link. So there is a bounty guide, but just to briefly look at it, we have a community promotion. So there will be 20 million tokens put aside for the Bitcoin Talk profile, inviting people to Telegram, posting on Twitter, etc. There's also a content creation bounty, which if you create your own posts, or you use social media and you put content out there, or you do blogs or reviews, much like this one, and I'll probably be applying for the content creator bounty after I finish this review, if I can ever get it bloody finished. There's 70 million tokens aside for that, and then there's a further 10 million tokens for special achievements. So if you get any, if you spread the word, you get them covered in the news or whatever, you can get some tokens there. So this bounty campaign is pretty straightforward. As I said, there is information on Bitcoin Talk forum about this, Medium, and also on Telegram. Onto the roadmap section now, and what Shipping call a milestone plan, and it is very detailed, so we'll try to go through it as best I can. They intend by 2019 to have offices in all of these following countries and cities: Melbourne in Australia, Singapore, New Delhi in India, Tokyo, Japan, Beijing in China, Moscow, Russia, Frankfurt, Paris, London, and San Francisco in the US. So they are presently in a few companies. They're in Australia, Singapore, China, and Russia currently. And their roadmap will depend, and their implementation will depend on the amount of tokens that they sell. So the soft cap is 3 million US dollars, as we already discussed, and their geographic focus will change as depending on how much money they earn, basically. So going forward, when they meet the soft cap, and I'm pretty sure they will, they're halfway there, well, more than halfway there now on their pre-sale, with still several days to go. So I've no doubt they'll meet their soft cap at some point during the main sale. I think a lot of people will be hanging back at the moment because they don't want to chuck in $3,000, and that's fair enough. It's maybe too much for a lot of people, and certainly once the minimum contribution amount comes down, I think the overall amount will grow fairly rapidly. And as we look here, they want to implement different things. They have the scope of work outlined, and basically they are going to move through in stages. I won't bother reading any of this out. You can look at the white paper if you want to see what is going to be applied depending on the money they've raised. They intend to have, when they reach the soft cap, they intend to have 1 million shipping users or app users, and they think implementation will be 3 to 6 months. They raised $5 million. They're going to be 5 million users, and the scope will widen, and it will also they will also make inroads into Korea and India and New Zealand as well, with a longer time frame. They'll then move into Australia, New Zealand, China, Singapore, Russia, India, UK, USA, France, and Germany getting added to the list. And the target number of users goes up to 20 million, so on and so forth. So the more they earn, the more they can do. So they have a plan. It's very detailed, and a global implementation will be, I think, a key to their success. They also have an expansion roadmap, as we can see here. Q1 2018, they want to move into some other countries, and that will continue on until they have their global domination. They also have a development roadmap there, as you can see. So the product database will already be available through Everledger. The shipping coin, Q4 2017, so they obviously did the smart contract for their ICO last year. The retail module will appear Q1 2018. Blockchain ledger Q2 this year. Online payment integration will follow in Q3. In-store navigation Q3 again. Snap checkout Q3 again, and then we will move on to shipping branded payment cards. Interesting development. Q4 2018. The marketplace will come live at the end of the year as well, and trade finance and startup accelerator will follow. So let's take a brief look at the team. Gennady Volchek is the CEO and founder, and then he's complemented with Andrei Kucherov, who is the CTO, and Tony Lee, the CMO, and Evgeny Markelov is the CEO in the Moscow office. So they've all been working at Authenticate It, which is the prior company to Shipping, and the overall umbrella company for this project. So they've worked there before. They've managed to implement the app. However, I did check, there's only been about 500 downloads of the app so far, not 50,000 as they claim, at least from what I could see. So maybe not as successful as we would have liked, but nevertheless, the team continues. They have people in all different roles, including developers and business development managers in different countries, etc. The advisory body, one person of note here is Leanne Kemp, who's the founder and CEO at Everledger, and of course they're partnered with Shipping to provide the data services. And also Sergienko there, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Chronobank, which you might have heard of, blockchain technology company as well. So they are partnered with quite a few different bodies or certifying bodies, including Assure Quality, Australian Certified Organic, GS1 for the barcodes, ICO Box, Novigraph, I think that is, intellectual property rights protection, a Russian company there for regulatory compliance. This company, I don't exactly know who they are, WCO, that could be the World Customs Organization, National Farmers Federation, FinTech Australia, Everledger, and the Australian Digital Commerce Association. Now, I think obviously the Everledger partnership is integral to their plans and a requirement, but also I think the regulation partnerships are quite important too, because what they want to do, what they have been doing in the previous business with Authenticate It, is tied into a lot of regulation now and will be more in the future, as we pointed out in the problem section. So having those partnerships and those associations already, I think is quite important for them going forward. Let's look at the community now. They are on all social media channels that they need to be on, including Bitcoin Talk, Facebook, GitHub, LinkedIn, Reddit, Medium, Twitter, and Telegram. And if we look at their repository on GitHub, they've only got the smart contract up there at the moment with nothing else. And let's have a look. They've got over 10,000 followers on Twitter, which is pretty impressive. They seem to be quite active. At the moment, the pre-sale's running, so you can imagine they want to promote that as much as possible to reach their soft cap. And let's have a look at Telegram as well. Right, so they've got 3,261 members on Telegram, which isn't amazing, but it's still fairly impressive. They've got reasonable community support, I would say, here for this project. It could be hyped a little bit better. Hopefully, more people will pick it up as we approach the main sale date in February. Now, onto the verdict time. First off, as usual, the positives that I see in this ICO. And number one is the company is already involved in the industry of supply chain management, and they just want to apply blockchain technology to improve their business and make them more efficient. And I think the fact that they're already involved with Authenticate It, they've already got the app, is a really good sign. It shows that they know the industry already intimately and that they can implement what they want to do. The second thing is it expands on an existing business. So we have the Authenticate It app that follows the supply chain, the item through the supply chain, and gives all the information from reading the barcodes, whether it's a counterfeit, whether it's real. But they're not just taking that and putting that on the blockchain. They're actually expanding on the existing business by introducing loyalty points and many more features for the retailer and the consumer themselves. Number three, the blockchain technology is ideally suited for use in the supply chain industry. It's perfect for it. We know a lot of the big players like VeChain, Modem, Wabi, all those that are existing already have used this technology very well in their prototypes and also in the real world case, as in the case of Wabi. They're already on supermarket shelves in China. So this technology is ideal. Having a distributed ledger is ideal for this kind of monitoring of products. Number four, they have a very detailed roadmap and vision. This isn't just thrown together. They've actually sat down and thought about what they want to do. They have very big ambitions, and they've detailed it in a roadmap depending on how much money they actually raise from the ICO. So they've got a vision and a way to implement even if they don't reach the hard cap. Number five is a usual one for me. They have a low token price, which I like. 1 cent is around my favoured token price. Not so much when it's combined with the overall total supply or the circulating supply, but the token price itself is a good point. Number 6, it solves real problems of counterfeiting, problems of supply chain, logistics. This concept will address a lot of the problems that are faced by retailers, brands, and also ultimately the consumer as well. Number 7, it rewards the app user. So, you know, unlike other apps on centralized systems that are owned by companies looking to profit, this will actually reward you for doing your reviews, giving information, and helping to build the product. Number 8, their existing apps, Authenticator and the shipping app, which is available for download, have over 12,000 downloads at the moment combined. So that's a start. That's a fairly significant number. It's not overwhelming, but it certainly is a start. How many of those people are actually using the apps on a daily basis remains to be seen. So on to the negatives now, and the first negative is the high hard cap of 50 million. Now, they may well need $50 million to implement everything they want to do. They've got global ambitions, and that's all fair and well, but from an investment standpoint, 50 million is a fairly high hard cap, especially for a project of this nature. Number 2 is it is an ambitious project. Now, the reason I keep putting this in the negative section is if the project is too ambitious, or, you know, it's very large scale, it's more difficult to implement, therefore the chances of success decrease. Now, with a project of this nature, where they're looking to get tens of millions of users using the app, that's ambitious, and it's not always going to be easy to succeed. Number 3, there isn't enough hype about this ICO for the size of the project, the money they want to raise. There isn't enough social media hype. There aren't enough people on Telegram. There's not enough people talking about it. There's not enough traction for it on the exchanges, in my opinion. So it's something to think about. There'll always be movement for it on the exchange, as usual. But you know, more hype means more upward movement. And at the moment, I know we're only at pre-sale stage, but they really need to get more hype behind this project. Number 4, why the need for an ICO? They claim they're already a successful business, so what's the point in them needing to raise 50 million from a crowdfunding? If they are already a successful business, they should be able to use their profits to expand the business and build the blockchain app on the back of their existing software. And the other thing is, you know, couldn't they approach banks or other institutions for lending? It just seems to me that a lot of companies nowadays are using the ICO platform as a springboard to raise money for themselves and jump on the bandwagon, when really it should not be necessary, especially if they are a successful business. Number 5, I don't think this barcode scanning will be as effective as the RFID model that's been employed by Walamai, Wabi, and Walton Chain and a few of the others. So RFID is a really difficult and effective method of ensuring or combating counterfeits. Barcoding, not so much. And number 6, another negative is the high total supply of tokens. 10 billion tokens in total is just too high. Number 7, there's no token burn either. Any unsold tokens will be fed back into the ecosystem. Now, that's all fine and well if you are shipping and you're going to use those tokens to expand users of the platform, but from an investment point of view, the less tokens the better, and if there's no burn, then it means these will just be in circulation at a later period. And number 8, the final negative, is they have a lot of competitors in the supply chain space, certainly, and even in the loyalty scheme space as well. Fluzz, I think, are another ICO just recently launched. that are concentrating solely on loyalty rewards. So they have a lot of competitors in both spheres, and only time will tell whether they're going to be successful. But the more or the less unique your product is, the less chance that you're going to be successful in the longer term. So with all that being said, and we come to the very important verdict, I am a shopaholic for this one. I quite like it. It does have flaws. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. The reason for the deduction in stars is simply because of the very high total supply, the lack of a token burn, the competitors, as I said, and also, you know, we need to see whether they can implement this. So this ICO poses a certain amount of risk, but again, the higher risk, the higher the rewards are usually the case. So I've decided to go into this one on pre-sale with the minimum amount of $3,000, and you know, I think the low token price has still got some room for traction. So I find it quite attractive for that reason alone. So that's my review of shipping, guys. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. Please press like and please subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. I try to do a video every day. I've actually got friends over from Scotland at the moment, and I'm busy entertaining and playing the host. So unfortunately, I may not be able to do a video as often as I'd like, but I still try. And I appreciate all your likes. I appreciate you using my referral links, as I said earlier. Every little helps. It really does, guys. So thanks for watching. As ever, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you are going to invest in any ICOs, please be aware of the risks. It's no guarantee that you're going to make any money. And always do your own research. Always do due diligence on any project or potential investment. And always invest wisely and invest with caution, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Another disclaimer, I don't get paid for these reviews. I don't get sponsored. I have been asked and I refuse. So that's just me being upfront with you guys. You know, you just get my basic opinion on these ICOs. The only way I earn money is maybe if they have an affiliate scheme. I will post my affiliate link down below. If the ICO is of high risk, in my opinion, very high risk or too high risk, then I won't put my affiliate links on them, even if I am signed up for them. So that's just a little personal disclaimer. And yeah, so it's Friday, so enjoy your weekend, peeps, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.